Hello, everyone. I am Rachel Telfor.
And I'm Michelle Gower.
We are the hosts of a new true crime podcast.
It is called Children of the Void.
The Void refers to children who are missing
and children who have died under mysterious and suspicious circumstances.
Sometimes parents know nothing about what has happened to their child.
And sometimes they seem to know more than they let on.
Like Casey Anthony.
And the JonBenet Ramsey case.
We are determined to do our part to find missing children.
And the truth when the story of their disappearance doesn't hold up.
Together, we will blast the shadows with light so that no more children disappear into the void.
Children of the Void debuts in September.
Join us so we can all make a difference.
Please subscribe.
Until then, I'm Rachel Telfor.
And I'm Michelle Gower.
You can catch Children of the Void on Apple, Spotify, YouTube,
and everywhere else you get your podcasts.
All right, everybody, welcome to the Confession Post podcast. I'm Morgan Rector.
And I am Von Dark.
All right, and the headline from the first confession of this week is, it is blame it on hormones. So it goes, I have been cheating on my husband for months. I am a 24-year-old new mother. I gave birth to our first child a month ago. The problem is I feel so guilty now. In the past 6 months, I have cheated so many times I couldn't even estimate, and with multiple men. I have always had a high sex drive and our sex life is good. When we first found out I was pregnant, my husband started working a good bit of overtime to make sure we were in a good financial spot when the baby came. As pregnancy took hold, I started feeling different. I blame it on my hormones going nuts. But I became hypersexual, super horny, whatever you want to call it. Masturbating was not cutting it. And with my husband working most of the time, I started cheating. I joined an online site. I was amazed at how many guys had a thing for pregnant girls. I was getting laid every day, sometimes several times a day. I kept it up right up until the birth of my child. Since giving birth, my system seems to have gone back to normal, and I no longer have those feelings. Now I feel super guilty. I tried to keep this on the down low and not let any of the guys I hooked up with know anything about me, but there were so many guys I know it's only a matter of time before I run into one of them. I just hope my husband does not find out. So how many women do you think struggle with that dilemma where they have such a high sex drive that they end up cheating on their husband, father of their child, or whatever?
Well, when we reach our 30s, like, we tend to kind of get a little on that side of things, but like, I'm sure like having children can kind of kickstart that sort of thing, because like the child in you, like, it alters your hormones and whatnot. So like it's hard to say. I feel like it's an individual kind of deal, because like I've reached like some ups and downs myself, right? Like
yeah, you'd be in your sexual peak right now, right?
Essentially.
That's what they say.
Yeah, essentially speaking, yes. Like, I mean, I haven't felt this way really since, like, I don't know, I think like my late teens, something like that. When you're a teenager, you're like, oh, like everything's so new, right?
Yeah.
Everything's so new and everything's like fun and all that. But like once you get to like my age, like, which is close to 40, it's you've done all of that. Now you're just kind of like, I don't know, you want somebody that can like have the stamina that you need. So,
yeah.
I mean, and some people like they go with like the younger people, and like the younger people, yes, I guess. Like, but I've dated people my age, and they've been able to keep up fairly well. You know, like some people have even like basically like they're like a walking hard on. Like you know, like the wind will blow just right and like bam, they're ready to go. And like it's a I don't know, it's weird. Like I've noticed that like there's that whole cougar thing, right? Like, you
Yeah.
know, a lot of younger guys are like, oh, you know, cougars, this and that. Like they love that sort of deal. But like yes, they have the stamina, but they might not have the know-how.
Or the emotional
And
maturity. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. I mean, like you can have all the enthusiasm in the world. But it's like sometimes it's like, you know, that doesn't like I don't know, it makes up for experience, like, or it doesn't make up for experience, I should say. You know,
Yeah.
like enthusiasm is great and stamina is great, but like knowing what you're doing is even better, you
Yeah.
know? And so when it comes to like people hitting their sexual peaks and stuff, like it's so like to me it's like kind of weird because it's like people look for all kinds of things. Like I know a woman that's like she's pretty local. She even gets tattooed like a fair amount, and she loves the younger men. And she's like probably about 10 years older than me, I think, something like that. She loves the younger dudes,
Hmm.
and I don't know. I just like she has an OnlyFans as well. Like,
Well, I mean, women I've spoken to who are, what people would call mature nowadays,
hmm
MILFs, if you will. Uh,
hmm
they do say like it's whenever they create like a dating site profile, they're just bombarded with messages from younger men.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, it happens because like a lot of younger men, like I don't want to say mommy issues, but I think mommy issues does come into play a little bit, you know, like
Sure, yeah,
not like all the time, but then again, like you know, I want to say like they're looking for the same thing that I used to look for in an older guy, you know, and that's just like experience, you
well,
know.
I mean, I think maybe it's has to do with confidence as well, because
Yeah, yeah, and older
it's like
people usually do have confidence in spades because they're like, you
yeah,
know, I got what I got and this is it, you know, like
yeah, even women who maybe in their 50s and maybe they're kind of they have body issues, they don't feel entirely happy about the way they look. There's just something about getting older that gives you experience, gives you confidence, and that's attractive in both men and women.
oh, totally confidence, charisma, like just like you know, it's just something that like other people aren't offering because there's so many like there's a lot of bland people out there, you
Yeah, well,
know.
yeah, it's like with strip clubs. A woman wouldn't be able to strip if she was really shy, if she didn't feel comfortable in front of people, and especially
Yeah.
take her clothes off in front of people. With men, of course, with most of the audience being men too, that takes a lot of guts.
Oh, totally. It does. I mean, there's a certain amount of empowerment that comes with it though. Like, because I know like myself, like I've I've done burlesque shows, but
Oh,
like not like, you know, strip stuff, but like I figured someday I might I even took pole dancing lessons and stuff like that. And like you know, once you're familiar with the pole, because the pole is usually a pretty good like part of your act. Once you're familiar with that, like the confidence comes up and like you can see yourself in that mirror just even practicing and you're like, damn, you know, like I actually got some moves. Like I look pretty good. And
yeah.
that like starts kind of like giving you more confidence. And you know, when you're like public speaking, for instance, like I've always like I didn't mind doing it, but it's always those moments like building up to it that I'm like the most nervous and the most anxious and all that. And like once I'm on that stage and like at that podium and like I get past my first couple of lines, I'm good. Like I warm up to the crowd and like you can I mean so long as you're not totally scared of big crowds, you can kind of gauge like what kind of response you're getting and like work off of that, right? So like same kind of goes with like stripping and whatnot. Like
Yeah.
you can tell whether or not people are into it. So like you can work off that. But like I think the like most important part with stripping is like stripping the songs that you know and you're like you feel
Yeah.
sexy with, because then like you can like really work that and you work it to like your like energy, and that in itself is pretty appealing, right? Like just
Did you dance to Closer by Nine Inch Nails?
at like goth nights and fetish nights, yeah. Oh man, they like that was a staple. Like
One of the sexiest.
one of my most favorite though, like one of my most favorite nights. I danced with this chick. I think her name was like Alicia. Anyway, she was really cute, really small, and we danced to Snake River Conspiracy's version of Lullaby. And we knew, like, I knew it. I knew that song really well. And we worked off each other. We were like fucking, like, we could have been a force. Like, and like people cleared the dance floor for us, like, because we were just like killing it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
during
it was a fun time. Like, I mean, like it's those moments. Like, I've always loved dancing. Dancing is like the first sort of. It's almost like a mating signal. Like, you know,
yeah.
like if somebody can dance, they can fuck. Like, that's
Yeah.
how it is.
Yeah. Well, yeah, like doing your modeling would take a lot of confidence as well.
It helps in terms of building confidence too, though. I will say this because I'm like I don't know, I don't want to say body dysmorphia, but like there's I feel like there's a little bit of that. And like the first few times I did uh um modeling, I was really surprised with the pictures. I
Mm.
was like, that doesn't look like me. That doesn't look like the me I see in the mirror, which is awesome. Like that's really great. Like I highly recommend taking boudoir shoots. Like if you're feeling a little low on yourself, you'll have new confidence, right? Like cuz it's just like, whoa, I didn't know like, and even if it's not like sexy, like sometimes like I mean for guys, like we'll say like guys have done like boudoir shoots and they end up being a little bit more on the like funny side of things, but it's still great. It instills a positive reaction. And like I personally I love that more than like a sexy anything. You know, like if I'm like getting joy out of something, that's gonna like turn me on in other ways, you know? So like yeah, I mean, like with like the boudoir shoots, like sure, like sometimes it's better, like the outcome's better if you like, you know, you look good, you're, you know, I guess what society calls like an attractive person, but you can still make it like awesome if you're not, you know? Like
Yeah.
that's like the best part about it.
The way to overcome a fear is not to avoid it, but to
Yeah,
confront.
you fucking look it straight in the fucking face and you go for it. You know, like, you know what? Like, this gave me anxiety. I don't want it to give me anxiety anymore. You know, like, let's just try it out. Let's just try it on for a few minutes. And, like, honestly, you get, like, you get more out of it than you'd think. Like,
Well, I mean, it's like this whole thing with safe spaces in the universities.
yeah, I
Safe
get that.
spaces, that's not helping anybody.
I mean,
You,
I get it, but it's like you're coddling to people with like they're unable to deal with their things.
Well, yeah.
and you're coddling to that. And the thing is with life, and this is my biggest thing, it's like life does not give you a trigger warning,
No, none at all.
like ever. Like you either see it and you deal with it, or you see it and you block it. Like you don't get triggered. Like we're very lucky with the way that we post things on the internet and whatnot, like trigger warning dot 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 dot. And then people can click on that whether they feel like it or not, which is cool. But at the same time, like you're driving down the highway, you see a car crash, somebody's fucking dead, and like what are you gonna do about that? Life didn't go trigger warning dot 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 for you, you
Exactly.
know? So
It's
what are you gonna do with it? Like it is harmful to me, like personally. Like I don't like yeah, that's literally like the my biggest thing. I was like, life doesn't give you trigger warnings, so like why should I give you a trigger warning?
well, yeah, and also it's not like, well, I mean, I don't know if we're going to start hearing about people suing their employers for not providing safe spaces, but I feel
Mm,
like that could happen eventually. I mean,
totally.
it'll ruin your career. I mean, your boss will just hate you after that, and
Yeah.
you'll never get promoted because you'll be considered a flake. Uh,
Yeah.
but I think it'll probably happen at some point. But
See, like I'm pretty lucky, like where like I do the tattooing, I can almost and where I'm a woman, I can pretty much say whatever I want, and it's not like I take advantage of that. I don't, because I'm not like a fucking pervert or anything like that. I just sometimes you have to say it bluntly so that people get things. And like, a lot of the time because I'm really happy I'm a woman because I can have those talks. Like I have more freedom than a guy would, like a guy could be looked at for being misogynistic or whatever for some of the things that I have to say to people. And like one of the things, like the biggest thing is that, and this is something I didn't even learn this when I got tattooed. I learned this information when I was getting waxed, but like when females are close to their period, our hormones are so like fucked
yeah,
that like our skin is sensitive, we're sensitive, lots of things are sensitive, right?
yeah,
So when I got my eyebrows waxed, she peeled them off one day, and I'm like, what the fuck? Like, that didn't feel like the last time. And the thing that mattered was that I was on my lady time at that point in time, and everything was fucking sensitive. And that's when things clicked for me because I've had so many female clients in my time where it's like, they're just like, I don't understand this. I didn't feel like this like the last time I got tattooed. Blah blah blah. Like they're just like, what the fuck? Like, and they think it's you. They blame you at first.
yeah.
They're like, like you're causing all this pain, and it's like, no, your hormones are causing all this pain. Welcome to being a woman.
Supposedly, while you're on your period, you're more likely to be attracted to a guy who's like a bit of a roughneck, and then any other time of the month, you
Well,
watch
there
him.
are like, okay, so there's waves of that because like there's like I can't even predict like when this stuff is gonna happen. I mean I have an IUD in and things are a little weird anyway, but like aside from that, um you don't know when you're gonna have your horny period or your leave me alone period.
Hmm.
Like it's just
Oh
it
yeah,
happens because you have like a leave me alone time where it's like no. But I mean like even so, like I've noticed this like when I've had boyfriends and partners and whatnot. It's like like they'll be like, well, it's not like they convince you, but you're like you kind of get into it and you're like, okay, this is a good idea. This is a really good idea. But like you do have those moments where it's like just don't touch me. Don't fucking touch me. But you have moments where like, oh God, I can't get enough of like you touching me and that guy touching me and this
oh,
one over here touching like everyone touch me.
you're more sensitive. Yeah. Well, I mean, then that's a situation where being more sensitive to touch would be definitely better, of course.
Yeah, it's good. And I mean, like, I guess, like, really what uh I like the takeaway is like you either have some people that like understand you in these moments, or you have a partner that understands you in those moments, and they're like, well, like they know their boundaries and this and that. But yeah, like I mean, it's so touch and go with ladies. Like, and
Yeah.
I say this like I'm a dude, but like I'm not. Like I feel like in my past lives, I probably was a dude a few times. A few times, because like the I talk about being a woman as a burden sometimes. I'm like, this
Yeah.
is my only body. Like legit, this is the only body I've ever known, really. Like, but I mean, aside from, believing in reincarnation, which I kind of do, like, um, I feel like maybe I was a dude more often than I was a chick.
I
Cause
know.
like I just speculate so much. I'm like, being a chick sucks. Like, as if I know what the other thing is like, and I don't.
Well, I mean, there's always the threat of rape. That's one thing.
Oh man, like okay, so get this, like I know so many people they post like I hold my keys in my hand and this and that, and like not to like fucking give my shit away, but like I guess I don't know, I've always sort of had like a weird air of intimidation because I've walked through places in Halifax here and had not like zero issues. Mind you, there was one time I had a roommate and she just like said something the stupidest shit. I was like, what the fuck are you doing? This is like, we are right near, like, we're near the square, which is, it's an area, we'll just say. We're near this area and this guy's just asking the time. You need to chill the fuck out. Like, you don't need to fucking say, like, you don't need to backtalk him. Just give him the time. Like, do we have the time? No, we don't. Okay, move on. Right? Like, fuck.
Yeah.
Don't start shit. And I mean, I don't know. Like, I've never had an issue. I've, like, luckily, like, knock on wood, because I've never had an issue, but I've always been pretty safe and always like went through these areas when I was like at least like well enough to take care of myself.
Well,
Like I may have been buzzed, but like I could still fucking throw down.
I think there's something about your look too, maybe that gives the
Yeah,
impression like you wouldn't put
there's a
up.
little bit of like fuck around and find out happening, right? Like especially with the tattoos on my face, like now, like, and the palm one, like they're like, oh shit, that bitch likes pain. Like I
Oh,
might not be able to take her down.
I know that there have been like Aboriginal cultures where like tattooing was considered kind of a symbolic of strength because
Rites of passage and shit.
they didn't have any kind of numbing agent, so doing it for hours
No.
on
And I
your
mean, your face is actually a really good spot to get done. Like, it's actually, like, it's really relaxing. It feels good.
yeah,
Like, I
there
loved, what, what's that?
there are people in New Zealand called the Maoris.
Yeah, the Maoris, they get their chin
Yeah,
done.
yeah, it's
I
mostly well,
love it.
I think
It
both the
looks
men and women
so
get it.
good. Yeah,
Yeah.
like there's New Zealand and then there's Hawaii as well. Like Samoa and Maori, they're very close.
Oh, is that right? Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Samoans and Maori, like they're not exact. And I don't want to sound like a complete white person when I talk about it, but like from tattoo history, um, they do have a very similar way of like doing their tattoos. A lot of tapping and also a lot of rite of passage type stuff. And the chin is definitely one of them. I love that because it's in the female part of it. Like the females get it done and it looks so cool. Some of them get like their whole entire bottom lip blacked out, and I love that.
Wow, that would be
It
very
it would suck the way that they do it. It wouldn't feel the greatest. because they tap it in, and they also they cut, basically they make their own tools if you're getting it traditionally done. If you're not getting it traditionally done, well, then there's other DIYs to kind of do it that way. But usually they'll use bone that's carved, and they'll tap that in, and it's I've never had that done, but I'd love to. I think it would be dope.
So in
It'd kind of be relaxing, I think.
terms of hormones, have you ever had a pregnancy scare?
Yeah, actually, on record, I've been pregnant 3 times with one guy, but um, he he was not very responsible, and I didn't have any faith in bringing a child into the world with him.
Mm-hmm.
So I waited. Basically the last time that had happened, I moved back here. That was 2017. So that was the last time that I mean, I could have had the baby, but I was not confident it was going to be a perfectly healthy baby, because I didn't even know I was pregnant at that point in time.
Oh yeah.
There was a couple of times I've been pregnant, well, 3 times, and one of those times I actually knew because I was getting sick all the time, right? But other times, sometimes you just don't know. You don't know because, you know, nothing's making you feel sick. You can hang out and do things, but things are just slightly different.
Did it
Um,
change your sex drive like it did with this woman?
no, I didn't find it did, but I mean, I think it was due to the individual.
Yeah.
I was kind of just when I found out, it was more or less I know I'm not keeping this baby. What am I going to do with this thing? And I was worried about that. So, but I mean, hormones, yeah, they usually change. I've had a friend of mine, she lost some teeth because of one of her kids. Hormones change like crazy.
Oh
I mean,
yeah.
you have a parasite in you,
Yeah, I remember
essentially.
our mutual friend was telling me, yeah, having kids kind of messed up her teeth. Yeah.
Yeah, it does. They will deplete anything and everything they need from wherever they need it. So, yeah, it's interesting.
Yeah. All right, so what's your first confession?
Okay, so I guess I'll go with the one that I just seen. Because I don't think that was one of the ones. Did you have caught flashing?
No, I didn't get that one.
Okay.
No.
All right. So I remember the boy next door standing in his backyard door naked, flashing his dick at me. I was pretending to not look. I'm revising this because the English is kind of not the best. But he knew what I was watching through an opening in my curtains. I felt like a pervert, but couldn't stop looking at him touching himself. From there, I could clearly see him stroking his hard dick and hard not to get sexually aroused. My parents never found out. They just thought I was up in my bedroom doing my school homework. When I told my girlfriend from school, she asked me about doing her homework with me. The boy never found out we were both watching him naked jerking off. We were both peeking on him when she told me she had seen him in school. I never figured out how he could keep a straight face knowing I had seen him stark naked, stroking his dick in full view, totally unaware of my girlfriend. Totally unaware my girl's friend used her Apple phone on him, so he got recorded.
Oh, yeah.
A little something for later. You know
Yeah.
what? That shit's hot. I'm not gonna lie. It took me a while to get into guys jerking off, but I think what set it off for me was one of my good friends. He sent me a video of him doing that, and then he sucked his own dick, and
Yeah.
I was like,
Wow.
whoa,
What used to do yoga?
okay.
Does he do yoga?
I don't know. Like he had a pretty big dick though. Like I guess like a decent size. It was lengthy. Like
Was he
I guess he probably wouldn't have to do yoga, but he
was he very
was
lithe,
flexible.
skinny, very lithe?
He was definitely a little bit on the skinnier side of things.
Yeah.
But yeah, like that changed things for me. I was like, okay, um, wow.
Yeah, so many women complain about like getting dick pics, but so what do you not want?
No, it's not that bad. I mean, get like a fucking jerk off fucking video like that. That'll make your day. That's better than a dick pic.
Oh, so you want
Like,
some action. You don't want to just look at.
well, I mean, I personally do. I don't know about everybody else. But I mean, I don't want that off the get. I want like a hello, how are you doing? Would you like, like a little bit of an introduction before it's just like blam, dick in your face. Like
Yeah. Yeah, there's so many guys who just they just have no idea that that's not gonna go over well.
no, it's just like hello and then dick.
Yeah.
Sometimes you get like the luxury of having that first hello, but
Yeah, it's like how like a lot of women on this part of the world, they say they get like messaged by like Indian guys, and it's always just straight up sexual stuff.
Bob's and Vagine,
Yeah, that kind of
bitch lasagna.
their society is like so oriented toward marriage that the men don't get a chance to be single, and therefore they don't learn how to talk to women, and because of that none of them can teach the younger guys how to talk to women, and so they
Oh, I
just think like
know. They
up,
have nothing to pass on.
Yeah, over here
Yeah,
guys
no.
advice.
Yeah, like I mean you need that, right? Like and there's like zero when you're like forced into marriage at a young age and you're just like I don't even know what I'm doing right now.
Yeah,
Like I still don't even know what I'm doing because this is the same person I fucked since you were born. Like
I don't know how many of those marriages end up in a situation where the people are attracted to each other, but I imagine many of them do not work out that way. I imagine a lot of people have been arranged with someone that they feel absolutely no desire for. That must be hard. That must be really
oh
unpleasant.
man. Well, like you've got like this whole period of getting to know the person because like I don't know about you but like I like being able to have a conversation with the people I fuck, like
Yeah,
I like being intellectually matched with them, like I have to have that. There's no way in hell I can fucking hang out with stupid or fuck stupid,
you're
so
sexual, I think it is.
it's like yeah I mean I don't know. Like, I guess like there's an area where you can kind of separate the things. Like, you can just be like, okay, you're just like, I'm gonna fuck you, and that's it. But like, once you get into getting to know people, it's like, well, now we're best friends, So it gets different. But sometimes intimacy totally relies on that.
Yeah,
Like, you need to to have like another form of intimacy in order to like get off like and I get that too cuz I mean again I can't fuck stupid. Like I
well,
got to be turned on somehow like
I won't speak for other guys, but for me, it's like if a woman is both physically attractive and has a great personality, like
yeah.
my girlfriend's really pretty and she's funny and bright. That to me is absolutely dazzling. Like I just,
Yeah,
oh,
it's like it's wicked. It's like all the stars align and things are like fucking great. Like you have like chemistry. And that's like I guess like pretty much where it all comes from. One second, I get like my kitty is in here and she is begging to be let out of the room. One second.
yeah.
I gotta like open the door. There you go, baby. Go on.
She didn't act like suddenly
All
she
right,
didn't.
I'm back.
Okay, my next one is called, the headline is Dog Tongue.
Oh, yes.
And that is not a metaphor. I have a young male dog that I've been trying to train to lick my pussy.
Oh, no.
No matter what I rub myself with once. Uh, Once gone, he loses interest. I've tried butter, honey, yogurt. Of course, when he stops and I have to rub myself with more stuff, I'm losing the sensation of getting off. Any tips? He's just not interested unless there's something there. Makes him more frustrating than I am, I think.
Oh, my God.
It's more that. Well, I mean, I don't know. My experience with dogs is they'll pretty much eat anything, but if
Peanut butter is the only thing that I heard.
yeah, the urban legend, yeah.
Yeah, the urban legend with the peanut butter.
Yeah.
Peanut butter. But really, honestly, just get yourself a boyfriend.
Some bacon down there. I mean, I don't know how.
I mean, if you're really into your dog, I guess these are the things that you can do. But like, if you get yourself a boyfriend, the boyfriend won't lose interest as long as you're like fucking good. You know, like I'm just saying, like you can step your game up just a little, instead of finding things that your dog will enjoy. How about like, a boyfriend that can like do the exact same thing, but like better, and then put fingers in there and like, because a dog can't do that.
Yeah, I mean, she could train a human male to do it better.
Yeah, you can do that, like she could be a dom. She could just be like, look, you're my like designated pussy eater now. You eat my pussy and that's it. Like,
there's a book called Lesbian Sex Secrets for Men, so she could get him to read that. So it has like tips like don't do porno tongue, no tornado tongue, and all that.
Oh, what about the ABCs? I heard that the ABCs were a thing.
Like, yeah, like T is the best letter. Lowercase T.
T, the letter T. That is the one.
I guess you treat it like a joystick or something.
Yeah. I mean, once you get somebody that like, especially, a human listens so much better than a dog. You can give a human specifics. Like specifics. Stick a finger in there. Stick 2 fingers in there. Stick one in my butthole. Eat the fucking pussy. Like, you can do whatever. Like, you can just be like, yo, this is what I want. And like 9 times out of 10 you'll get that, so long as you can at least give back. Like, you don't want to fucking just be a taker.
Dog is just food motivated. You have to keep.
Yeah, you have to keep it like it's like treats, food. That's it. Like, it's very simple. Like,
actually, the sausages, I guess that might work, right? Put a sausage in there, and
you put a few hot dogs in there.
Hot dogs,
and and some peanut butter. Oh my God.
Expensive after a while having to.
Oh man, I worry about a UTI.
Yes.
You're just gonna fucking put all that shit all on your snatch, like.
You can't just put anything in there. I mean,
no, you can't just put anything in there. And it's not like I know this. I know this by accident.
By instinct.
By accident. Total accident. Like, one of the guys I was dating, like, way back, he'd used some essential oils and like didn't get rid of them on his hands, and bing bang boom, I had a fucking UTI. Really? And it was the worst thing ever.
Wow, I never thought.
Oh my God.
See, I think like
okay, so any foreign object, and get this, like sometimes our own underwear can give
Yeah.
us UTIs. Like,
Uh,
but for the most part, it is dirty sex. You have to urinate afterwards and make sure that you've like cleared your urinary tract. But sugars. So if you see any pornos with like people getting like fucking like lollipops stuck in them and stuff like that, they had like fucking they had some cleaning.
yeah.
They got paid really well. So like you know the cost of a UTI is a flash in the bucket compared to your paycheck. But still, you still like you gotta like you clean. Like they take shots like they do, like they edit that shit. So like,
Yeah, of course.
you're gonna like have like your money shots and stuff, and that's cool. And then the model goes off and cleans herself up a bit. Maybe they go back to doing more for like, editing. Who knows? But like anytime you see that shit in porno, I'm telling you, them bitches, they get paid a lot of money to get
Or
that shit shoved up in them. So like either if you want that like it's like if you want that shit in your partner, you either make sure her fucking antibiotics are paid for.
yeah, that's right. They must. Yeah, they probably have to provide like medical insurance or something.
Well, yeah, there's a little bit, I think. And I mean, like, I'm telling you, fucking, like, what is it, there's, like, fucking things that, like, wash out your butthole.
Colonic or
Yeah, like, like that, like, colon shit. When you do anal scenes, they do an enema. So, what you see in the porno is not what happens in real life. Like, like people are all about sticking things in your butthole because of pornos, and they're like, "Oh yeah, it's good times," but like, yo, those bitches prepped. They prepped hard for that. They made sure they didn't eat anything that was gonna make their crap runny or like whatever. They knew this scene was coming like days ahead. You can't just like bust that out on somebody and be
especially
like, yeah, I want to stick it in your butthole. Well, do you have an enema? Do you have like, do you
yeah
want to make this work? Do you want to make it nice? Like, that's
the women
exactly
who,
what's up.
women who do double penetration anal, they're gonna
Oh
be
man, I love that shit.
wearing
Honestly,
diapers.
apparently, that's like the best orgasm you'll have in your life is if you do
Wow.
like double pen. It's like, and there's a joke actually. You're familiar with South Park, obviously. They had two other movies, Orgasmo and Basketball. But Orgasmo is basically like this Mormon that happens like ends up being a lead in a porno. And it's so fucking good. It's like one of my favorite movies ever. And there's this like old lady he's talking to, and she's like, "Yeah, they only hire me for DVDA. And if you don't think that guts you out like a turkey on Thanksgiving, then you got another thing coming." I was like,
But
"Fuck."
I imagine they do it so much they're just I don't know if jaded is the right word, but it's just
Yeah, well, yeah. No, okay. Another quick thing. I heard that there's a movie called Pirates, right? And it was filmed on a ship that we had here in Nova Scotia. And this movie, I ended up buying it DVD, right? Like the first one. There's a second one now. And the second one's wicked, but like first one. Anyway, I'm watching like the other scenes, and they're just like fucking like running through lines with their tits out. Like it's like nothing. Like they honestly they're naked 90%, 99% of the time of their life. And they get paid for that. So they like don't even give a shit if a tit's hanging out when they're just talking. Like they really don't give a fuck, which I love. Like I'm just like, these are the freest people I've ever seen. Like,
sure, yeah.
Oh, like it's Edward and Jesse James, and like there's a couple other people that were on the first one, but Belladonna is on the second one, and oh my god, like those two movies, there's some serious scenes in that I'm just like, oh, it's so
Speaking of
good.
speak, speaking of free people, this conversation reminds me of why I've never felt like I fit in up here in Toronto. Because
Why?
us
Because no
blue
one
nose,
can talk about this shit.
yeah, like I found down
Oh, you
there.
need to get into the fetish community.
But don't you find people are more raw in Nova Scotia? They can talk about stuff like this,
Yeah.
where Ontarians are so fucking uptight. You know what I mean?
Yeah, okay. So like there's a little bit of that. Okay. We have a few sex shops here. And we can't have like we have to have like we can have a window display. That's it. Like but I feel like that's like across Canada cuz like when I was in BC on Davie Street, they have all kinds of fucking sex shops there.
Oh yeah.
And they have it like pretty much displayed the same way. But there's just way more sex shops, and Davie Street is like basically the one of the gayest, like it's sort of the gay community, right? So here we don't have any sex shops. We just like a few years ago closed fucking Ralph's down, which is our last fucking strip club. We have nothing. We have no strip clubs, and we got old people that don't want to change the fucking like harbor like line site. They're
Yeah.
like, no more fucking tall buildings.
Because it's so historic, I guess, right?
Well, I mean it is, and I get it. But it's like the harbor, the harbor is disgusting. You're not going swimming in there. There's
Yeah.
I've seen condoms, so many fucking condoms between fucking me being a teenager and me now in that goddamn harbor. You are coming out with like an extra arm if you go in there. You don't want to go in there. Just don't do it. You don't want to. So like the whole like old people not wanting to change the view of the harbor doesn't like I'm like what the fuck ever. Fuck you.
Yeah.
That's not right. But closing down the strip club, like the only one in Nova Scotia, you have to go to fucking New Brunswick to go to a fucking strip club now.
Wow.
Like fuck that. Like no. Like we had two really dope ones. We had Ralph's and we had Sensations was awesome when it was open, but that didn't last long. It was almost like they're like, oh, two strip clubs? No, we can't have two strip clubs. God forbid. Nope. Just the one. Ralph's is the only one. And then they closed that down. I
Well,
was like, fuck you.
Nova Scotia needs as much economic activity as
Oh,
possible.
man. People are so horny here. I'm telling you. Like, you could go to Newfoundland, Labrador, and just have your fucking pick of people because they're just like, oh, fresh meat. I've not seen you here
Yeah.
before. Like for real, like it's like that. I have not had that amount of fucking interest in a long ass time. And I could still go back there and get laid almost every single day and have a different person. Like I'm kind of
Oh,
fucking
yeah.
myself over by saying that. Because I'm like, fuck, that's a jinx if I've ever heard one.
Oh, you know who could open up a really good sex shop would be Krista.
Oh,
Like,
totally.
hers
We've
would.
actually been in talks of some things.
Yeah, well, she's got a lot of the merchandise already, so yeah, she would definitely know how to set one up. I
She
mean,
also has like some good like areas of her shop that aren't being used that would be like wicked for OnlyFans.
she's really good at decorating, I've noticed too.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And I've helped her out a little bit in some areas, not all, but like yeah. She she definitely has a knack for things. And like that basement is super creepy and that's what I love about it is like
Well,
It
that's
has
cool.
to be super creepy. Like I want some creepy things to be filmed in there. Like you make some serious money.
All right. So, what's your next confession?
Hello?
What?
Did I press a button?
No, I'm
Hello?
here.
Oh, there
No.
we go.
Yeah.
Oh, oh my God. Hang on 1 second. Yeah, that's better. I'm turning you up. I like had you on mute. I accidentally pressed one of the buttons on the keyboard. Anyway, I guess it's my turn, or are
Yeah,
we?
it's your turn. Yeah, your
Okay,
confession.
cool. All right. So, did you have weakness for tights?
For tights,
Yeah. You didn't
uh,
have that one, did
yeah,
you?
not as much for tights as I like the pantyhose with the patterns on it, like the black one.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. No, I mean like the confession. You didn't have the one that was titled weakness for tights,
Oh
right?
no, I didn't see that. Oh, I thought you were.
Okay, cool.
Well, now you know
We all
something.
have we all have a weakness for tights. Don't worry about that. Like
Especially
especially the ones with the seam up the back.
yeah, or
Like,
if there's a
ooh,
garter belt attaching it to.
yeah, totally. Okay, so good segue. Um, weakness for tights. For as long as I can remember, I've loved the thought of a woman sitting on my face in a well-worn pair of panties and tights. Ever since my ex-boss used to do it to assert her dominance on me. It's an embarrassing thing to ask women to do. Just wish I could find like-minded women near me to do it. I'm in northeast of England. Not interested in professional services, just a bit of fun with my fetish. David X. Well, I'm
There's nothing wrong with
sorry.
asking. There's nothing wrong with asking her to wear something.
No, no, like I'm sorry, but like I want to say that I have to say this. David X, like you can probably get that sort of thing, but you have to join FetLife. And other than that, you'll probably be paying for that sort of service. Because there's other like there you'll find those like-minded people on FetLife and it's easy as fuck. All you gotta do is look for a Dom
Well,
that
yeah,
is
that's.
into tights.
I mean, that's pretty tame compared to a lot of the stuff you'll
Oh
encounter.
man, like there's compared to the emails I've been getting.
Yeah.
But yes, totally. Like you, like honestly, that's not a hard find. It's
No,
not a hard find at all.
but if he's in a relationship, I mean,
Oh
I don't.
yeah, that like keeping it secret is gonna be a bit of a hard one.
But I mean, just I don't see that. That's not really like extremely.
No,
Just to wear sexy lingerie and take it.
but have it well worn. Like she's probably got to be in it all day and like have a pretty like involved day where she sweats and stuff in it.
Well,
You
that's
know, like he wants like what it sounds like. He wants the scent, and like that's a big thing um with people and women's undergarments is like the smell. Because if they are well worn, if they're not new pants, like if they are not new panties, they actually contain your smell like a lot more so because you've just worn them so much and like the cotton fibers they grab on to things and I've noticed this like sometimes when you're like are these new clean panties or are they like I'm not sure like you smell them right and you're like okay no they're totally clean but I mean for the most part for women we can tell whether or not we wore them but um yeah no there's a thing. I've dated actually quite a few men in the last little while that have been like just like really into smell. You
hmm,
know, they love like it's the pheromones. Like the pheromones come out like in all kinds of areas. Your armpits, your crotch. Like those are the two main spots, right? Like
yeah. You could make money by selling used underwear.
yes. Yes, and there's even been guys that have tried to like counterfeit that and they've made money. Like they
Um,
counterfeited used panties by like making some sort of scientific concoction that looks and kind of smells a bit like it, but it's like it's not like it's
Artificial
not.
discharge.
Yeah, like that's what they're aiming for. Is like they want to have like a bit of like they want to show that it's like there's something there, right? Because it's proof. But like discharge is like it's one of the like you have to masturbate in your underwear to get that onto it, unless it's like before or right after your lady time, and then when you do that you're gonna smell blood.
Yeah,
So
that's true. How much would you charge if you started
oh man, if I like this is a good question.
20
Okay,
bucks?
so it depends on how well worn you want them. No. And this is where the salesperson comes out. But for real, I would make sure that they were like well worn in the sense where like maybe I would get off in them a few times,
Yeah,
maybe wear them for a full day, but like make sure that my scent is in them,
and make sure
and
probably
at
wear
least own the underwear for maybe about a couple of weeks or so,
and
you
maybe wear
know?
black ones because I think it would show up.
Yeah, well, you'd have proof. You
Yeah,
would. I mean, even on white ones too, because it's not like your stuff is white. It's kind of like an off-white. Like anyway.
not like those beige colored 80s.
No, I mean, there's like, before and after your lady time, you can see there's colors because it's just like leftover, like stuff leaving you, right? Like, and like, honestly, like, there's like fucking 5 days or so of this, of like the whole process of your uterine line being shedded. So like you're gonna have like old blood come out at some point or another because it has to leave you, you know.
Yeah,
But yeah, not the most attractive thing in the world, but like I have uh I have a good friend partner sort of deal where we're kind of in an interesting like part of our lives, we'll say. And he just like he knows, like he smelt me before. He's like, you're gonna start your period or you're on your period. He knows, like he can smell me, and I'm like, fuck you, like this is not cool. Like I was hoping that I was the only one that could smell myself. Like I really wish like you wouldn't tell me these things because it kind of fucks me up mentally.
so what is the threshold between enough and too much? Like, is to wear one pair of underwear for a week? That's too much, right?
No, no, that's way too much. You want to like go for like a day and like have some heavy heavy play with it, in that one whole like 12 hours honestly, but make sure it's a pair of underwear that you've had for a little while
So what's the
because
what's
it
the,
will.
what's the appropriate price tag? Like 50 bucks,
Oh
100?
Jesus, I don't know. I've never sold a pair of my underwear.
Guess you'll have
So
to look it up on the internet
I
to see.
guess yeah, like I would say now, like because of COVID times, at least $100.
Yeah, and
Cause you gotta send it to them,
and
and
yeah,
if you're
yeah, save up like 10 of them. Make like 100, make 1,000 at a time.
well, yeah, you gotta have these underwear in your heavy rotation, like wear them a lot, and then like you know do your thing and then sell them, just cause like that way your scent is in the fiber,
Yeah,
cause like
you
when you
pay.
buy them new, it doesn't like you just smell like they don't. It probably just doesn't stick.
Yeah, you could pay your rent like that every month
Oh
with
man. Well,
underwear.
that and OnlyFans
Yeah,
totally do
OnlyFans.
it.
Yeah,
Like you gotta sell merch on your phone. OnlyFans.
yeah. Wow, can you believe they were going to shut down like the porn
I
aspect?
know. I'm like,
Now
oh no, this is not a thing. Like I knew it wasn't gonna happen.
it's like,
I knew.
what did you think they were going to do? Create like cooking shows or something? I mean,
Okay, so I've seen a little bit pop up on my Facebook. Ink Masters had like a couple of things. Like there was a couple guys they used to be on Ink Masters and they like catch me on OnlyFans. I'm like, what?
So they're
Like,
just
what do you mean? Are you gonna be showing me your dick while you do this? Because I'm kind of down for that. Like, honestly, like, that fucking Oni guy. Oh my god, like. I know he had like there was somebody had a thing and it's like, yeah, I'm on OnlyFans. I'm like, oh wait, my imaginary fucking realm just went nuts. Like
have any penises and balls been tattooed at Sling and Ink?
I've not done anything at Sling and Ink, but I've done some at the last place I was working at and in Edmonton. I
Yeah.
got there was a guy who contacted me over FetLife, and he's like, "Look, I don't have any visible tattoos. I'm a like, I'm a sub. I really enjoy sounding. I don't know if you know what that is.
What is that?
When they stick a rod in your penis.
Oh, ow. Oh, you mean like
Sounding is what it's
two kid?
called. It's like,
That's like that in that video, Two Kids in a Sandbox.
oh, I
He-
don't know that one.
This guy took like, I guess it's like the smallest dildo they sell, and he just like rammed it in the hole of his dick, his piss hole, and it was hard for me to
Oh
watch. I found it
no.
very hard to watch. Like, and he
Okay,
was
so this is like it's a glass rod. It's a glass rod. And it's like
what if
it's
it?
bigger than your pee hole, yes. So
What if it?
like it is gonna feel uncomfortable.
Yeah, especially if it breaks, because then
Yeah, and that's the other thing that is just like, oh, what if somebody just like smashed that shit with a mallet?
no,
Oh.
I respect that.
I wish that on my worst enemy. That's what I wish.
It should be made of like maybe rubber or something like that, but not glass. That's okay.
Yeah, no, I know, or Pyrex or whatever. Either
Yeah.
way, it doesn't matter. It can shatter, and that's not cool.
Yeah.
So this guy, he's like, I don't have any visible tattoos. I want to get my dick done though. Like, and I was like, cool, whatever. And I did a couple of tattoos on him in his dick region. One of them was like right on the frenulum. Anyway, like the bottom side of your penis where like the foreskin attaches to things. That
Mhm.
like that vein. I did a star and like that was the first time that I realized that like guys can get like they can have pre-cum and it doesn't matter what kind of state they're in really. It happens.
Well, it
You
came
know?
working.
Yeah, well, it didn't get hard. He just got like pre-cum. Like, and I seen it a second time, and the guy,
Well, you had to handle it, right? So
oh yeah, I have to move it around, right? Like, I have to, like, to get the underside of this penis, I have to, like, and I have to do this in the most professional way possible. And it's so weird for me because I'm like, I got gloves on, I'm about to hurt you, I'm gonna stab your dick with needles. Like I'm gonna do this. Like this is my job. You're paying me for this thing. And so I'm just, trying to do it in the most professional manner. And it's just like no matter what you do, it just doesn't feel right. It doesn't. Cause you're like fucking moving this jelly penis around and you just want to get your job done.
how long did that take?
It took a while, but I felt bad for charging him the amount of time that it took and all that and the extra money for like the penis handling fee. So I charged him my regular price. And honestly, I probably should have fucking charged him more. I hate myself for that
Well, I know
because
that.
it's like my hands are all over your dick. They're
Yeah.
all over your dick. And like honestly, this is a really cheap fucking like handling of your dick.
Well, I know that genitals have been tattooed there at where you're working now, because Krista once sent me a picture of this girl. She got a tattoo like right above her asshole. Oh yeah, she showed me that. Yeah, I forget.
I wasn't there for that one.
It was some kind of instruction to whoever's gonna fuck her. It was
Nice.
I don't know if she still has that photo, but
Oh man, I'm gonna ask her for it.
my next
I'll tell her to like listen to this and be like, yo, you gotta fucking come up with that photo. Tell me about it.
or my next
Hey, go for it.
confession. My next confession. It's the headline is Confessions of a 14-Year-Old Girl. So this is all in point form. One, I'm aggressive in a good way. So I think she means like in a sexual way. Two, I'm quiet, but in no way am I good. Three, I shave down there. Four, I'm extremely horny right now. Five, I often fantasize about being fucked by 5 different older guys. Six, I watch porn to get myself in the mood. Seven, I touch myself and use a hairbrush to masturbate. 8, I love talking dirty. 9, football players are the sexiest. 10, I think braces are cute. 11, I would love to give a blowjob. 12, I also fantasize about being tied up or gagged and chained while being penetrated by multiple guys. 13, I would never cheat on a guy. 14, I would fuck a girl. 15,
Yay! That was my question.
15, I would swallow cum if a guy blew a load in my mouth. 16, I'm a virgin, so I'm open to anything and I'm really tight.
Jesus.
17, I swear a lot. 18, you want to hit me up? My Yahoo ID is, and she's put it out there. It was on the website.
Oh my god, okay. So I'm really glad I screenshotted this.
Dana says roar, so it's spelled Daina, says as in SAYS, RAWR. So
yeah, so
yeah,
she
like,
emo. She's emo.
19,
But
19 is if I like you, I'll give you my number, or maybe I'll sext. So I was a bit like thrown by this at first, but then I thought, well, when you're 14,
it's probably like a fucking brown dude though, like
I think when you're 14, you pretty much have that stuff figured out, don't you? I mean,
yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, I like honestly like I don't know about a lot of girls out there, but like I knew I was sexually charged before my teens. Like I knew about a lot of things, but when I got into my teens, that's kind of where like I started figuring other things out, right? Like it's like, oh, like I'm into this and I'm into that. But where she's going off on some things, I'm like, girl, she is definitely older than that, whatever the fuck age she just said she was. 14? She's not 14.
but
That girl is like not 14.
but today's 14-year-olds are different than they were when we were 14, I
I
think.
guess so. I don't know. I want to say yes, but I also want to say no.
They have,
It's like all these people want fucking safe spaces and shit, but
yeah,
like.
but they do watch porn at an earlier age, and they do. I mean, she said that she like shaves her vagina. That's for a 14-year-old girl. That's pretty advanced, right? So
Yeah. I mean, I did when I was that age too, because it was just kind of like somebody told me hair was like a fucking house for bacteria, and I was just not about it.
yeah,
Like all hair gone except for the hair on my head. Like and my arms. I mean, like I just can't be bothered, but yeah, no, she sounds like fucking if she wasn't 14, I'd be like hitting her up. But cuz
yeah.
I'm like, "Girl, you are grown. Like that is not you are wow." Like
Is that part? Well, where did you go through a phase where you were like boy crazy? Did you do?
I honestly like I didn't know kind of what I had going on for myself, I think. That was my problem.
Yeah,
Like I was an awkward teenager and like I got teased a lot like prior to like becoming a teenager, so I just kind of like believed all that,
by other
right?
kids.
By other people, yeah. I mean, I was like, I mean, when I moved here and lived in Lower Sackville when I first like moved back, like I went right into junior high, so it was kind of like it was a little awkward, but at the same time, I had people in other grades noticing me, and I was like, what? Like, I wasn't even anything special back then. Like, I didn't know how to do my eyebrows. I dressed like fucking awkward. I was a fucking 90s kid. Like, straight up, like, fucking
Gigantic.
overalls and fucking striped shirts. Like, I dressed frumpy. I didn't dress like in anything that was like every now and then I'd have a dress on or whatever for like a dance, but like I honestly, day to day life, nobody knew what I fucking had going on. And like, I didn't think I was anything special. I could barely even do my own makeup. I like kind of dyed my hair from time to time. It was like the most awkward fucking like transitioning fucking girl because I was like a fucking like a, a tomboy. Like I like love to climb trees and build shit and like be in the woods and have fucking fun that way. I
Yeah.
loved all that. But I also was a girl, but like most of the people I knew were guys. So it's like whenever anybody was interested in me, I never knew. I fucking didn't
Yeah.
know at all.
Yeah. If
Like
you have that thing happen where like 20 years after you knew someone, you suddenly realize they like you, and you're like, damn, I should have done some.
okay, so I had the biggest crush on this guy, and he actually lives, I think he lives in Ontario or whatever. But his name was Sean O'Reilly, and I loved, like, I was like a fucking nerd around him, like, and he just, like, I don't know, he just seemed to have, like, confidence, and, like, he always had a girlfriend, but, like, when I, like, when I talked to him after all of this, he's like, yeah, like she was okay. Like and he talked down about her, and I was like, oh, like, because I never picked up on any of it, but he always like, he showed interest in me in different ways, right? Like, it was like, I don't know. Like these were ways that teenage me would like go home with that and masturbate to it for a few days. Like I'd be like, oh my god, he like knew my name. Like
Well, maybe it's possible that like the awkwardness was misinterpreted. And
yeah, yo, it was because we're both awkward. That's
yeah,
the thing. That and like I fucking like there's so many times where you like go through your junior high school crushes and like a lot of the time you'll find out like they felt the same or was interested in you in some way, and you're like, what? Like, how did I not know? Like, because you're fucking retarded back then. That's why. Like,
yeah, yeah.
you're
Oh,
like just so overrun by fucking hormones and like not wanting to be fucking put down because you're just like, I can't handle it. Like,
yeah,
because like,
I wouldn't want to be my 14-year-old self again.
fuck no. Me neither.
That was
I'd
a
rather be me now and then 14.
yeah,
Like, take my brain and put in
yeah.
my 14-year-old self, and I will fucking I will run the world. You have no idea. The knowledge I have now.
I'll make
Holy
less
fuck.
mistakes. Yeah.
You know how many, like, of my friends' dads would be in trouble? No, just kidding.
Yeah, yeah. Well,
Just
actually,
kidding.
so what's your next confession?
Oh, okay. So, I'm just gonna check with you with the title. Hang on. Did you have My Boss?
No, I don't have that.
Okay. M23. My boss, an average woman in is an average woman in every way. 36. Husband, two kids. Still, I find her so attractive. I just want to have sex with her. I masturbated to pics of her often and imagine how what? How sex with her must be. It's almost out of control. Everybody thinks about that. Like if they have a semi-attractive boss, like
Yeah, it is
it's
kind
human nature. You just want to stick your dick in things. Come on now.
of, yeah, it is kind of weird because it's like you don't want them to know if they wouldn't want you to be attracted to them, because that could be.
But like sometimes there's some people that just like, what if I dress this way today? Like what kind of attention am I gonna get? Like, because you never know. Some people, they literally just have like their own little kicks in life, and you're not privy to like what the fuck they are. Like some of these like boss bitches, they love being like that fucking what's her name? What is it? Something of attraction. The fucking chick, the one that like swings her legs open and shit. It's not attraction. It's Sharon Stone is the
Basic
chick.
instinct, yeah.
Yes. I'm sure that I am like 100% sure there's some basic instinct bitches out there that
Yeah,
just like love that power trip. They like bank on it.
but most women would not want to date a guy who occupies a lower status than they are.
No, well, I mean, yes and no. Some women are dumb like that.
Yeah,
They
they're
want a little,
yeah
you
they're the
know.
minority though. Yeah,
Mm, I find there's a lot more dumb men than there is dumb women.
yeah, for
But it
sure.
comes like I feel like it comes with the territory because like we've always been submissive and we've like fought for our rights and things and whatever. Like we fought for things. But we've always been submissive since the dawn of time. We were the ones that stayed home, made the babies, kept the homestead going. Like even in tribal aspects, we still like we hunted and stuff, but our babies were like right there. Like we were always kind of a submissive role anyway.
Well, that kind of stuff isn't exactly easy. I mean,
Mm.
I've been a
I'm
homemaker.
not complaining about it because honestly, like, this is why I feel I'm a switch. Because, like, I do get, like, I love being dominant, but it burns me out. It burns me
Yeah.
out really bad because, like, I am expending energy on someone that's not necessarily giving the energy that I need back because it's like a one-sided thing, like I don't want to like humiliate a guy or stomp on his balls like
Well, some guys might like that.
I mean, like, I'm just saying, like, I'm not saying I'm not going to ever do it. I'm just saying that's not an everyday deal for me. It's like, I want to be tended to. I like to be, like, taken care of, and it's nice to have a guy be like, you know what, you lay the fuck down. I'm going to draw you a bath. I'm going to do these things. And you don't have to tell them to do anything. And that's what a Dom usually has to do is tell them to do stuff. And you gotta sit there and you gotta think about shit for
Have
them
you
to do.
have you done the hot candle wax thing?
Oh yeah, I love the candle wax thing. I love it done to me. Like I love it.
Yeah.
It's so good. Like it feels so nice. Like you can actually go and get candles that are made for that sort of thing, but you can just get shit from the dollar store as long as it has no scent to it, you're good. But
So they make what you mean? Like they make candles that produce more wax than regular candles?
no, it's just like it's just safe. It's safe for any
Oh,
body
yeah.
part, right? Like, but if you get unscented candles, you're
But
good. Like
what about beeswax candles? Those ones last a long time.
beeswax is good, yeah. Like I never honestly never really thought about like the lasting factor of it, because it's just like you're using it for enjoyment, pleasure, whatever. But the beeswax is definitely a good idea. It's
Right.
it's utilizing our bees.
Yes, they worked hard for that. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, and you may as well congratulate them by putting them on a naked buttocks or something.
All right. So my next confession is pretty sketchy.
I like sketchy.
Oh yeah, the headline is "I post my stepdaughter's pics."
Oh
So that's
yeah,
pretty
okay.
dodgy. Yeah. So I post my teen stepdaughter's pics on Jailbait Gallery. I don't know. Sounds like it might be like a
Ooh.
child porn site, but they are so attractive and sexy. I love to share with other guys. It's erotic to think that other guys are wanking to their pictures. So yeah, that's got to be a child
Well,
porn.
how old is she?
Well, he says
Jailbait, so like what, 17, 16?
he just said teen. He didn't. I mean, 18, 19. Those are
18 is like close, but like, yo, I got a friend who's like fucking around with a 19-year-old at the moment, and I'm like, yo, that's 12 years difference. 12 years, that's a lot. Like, how much do you have in common?
yeah, but guys don't mind that so much.
Oh, yeah, no, they don't. They don't. They'll put their, like, their wiener in just about anything.
Could be a guy in his 60s. He'll date a 19-year-old.
Hey, man, like, yo, a guy in his 60s can still fucking franchise.
Yeah, that's true.
He
Yep.
can fucking spread a seed, yo. Like, so long as the woman's young, willing, and able.
Yeah, Hugh Hefner didn't. In fact, I think at one point he never had less than two girlfriends.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he's always had three. Usually three.
yeah, three blonde chicks, three young blonde.
Yeah, it's always been blonde chicks. And I mean, they're like, um, some of them are actually pretty cool, though. Like, I
Yeah.
forget the older one that he had. It
Hmm.
was like, he had a show where it was like the three of them. There was one that was like a sporty one and like a not sporty one, and the other one was the older one. She's like the matriarch, I guess, of the whole thing. And I liked the matriarch, honestly. She was like wicked. But she was like 30. Like she was like she's probably my age now.
Well,
Or
yeah.
less or more actually, a little bit more. Cause like fuck. But yeah, no, that man had it made.
Oh yeah.
He did.
So what's your next confession?
Did you have my wife sucks off strangers while I'm nearby?
Nope.
Okay, cool. This is going off really well. This is actually really good. Cause like I scrolled through all the things he picked, but like I have to double check just in case. Anyway, um, I kind of like a good cuckolding story, and this I feel like is one of them. So, wife sucks off strangers while I'm nearby. She's been sucking off strangers for the last 5 years. I'm usually close by, but I could see the motions one of the times she did it. Then the other time she snuck into other guy's hotel room while I'm there. My mom saw her go in there. She
Oh,
confronted her, but I decided to let it go that time. Also saw her get out of a van with a guy when I was close. She said she was sleeping. Yeah, with the guy in the van.
oh
I
yeah.
need video evidence or I won't win the divorce that she. Oh, okay, so it's not a cuckolding thing. Okay, I need video evidence or I won't win the divorce that she doesn't know is coming soon.
Damn.
Uh-oh. So it's not a cuckolding experience,
He thinks
which
it's controlling
sucks.
because it was his mother or her mother who caught him.
I think it was his mom. His mom saw her go into like the guy's hotel room.
Well, I mean, so that's consensual cuckolding, right?
I guess I don't know. Like he's saying she's been sucking off strangers for the last 5 years, and he's usually close by, So that means like they're together and she sneaks off.
Hmm.
I think that's what I'm gathering from this. Like by the sounds of it, is like like they're doing something and she finds a reason to sneak off.
Well, I mean, I don't know. It doesn't seem like there's a. Well, I mean, he knew she was doing it and he approved of it, right? Or
Right.
yeah, so I guess it's not a legitimate cuckolding, is it?
Yeah, but I mean, he's saying he's gonna divorce her.
Hmm.
So like he's like gathering evidence, it seems.
Well, yeah, I don't know. Maybe that's a way to get out of like paying alimony and all that stuff.
Oh.
I don't. I don't know if you can, but I mean, I guess if you could say, well, she cheated on me, and here's the evidence.
Yeah, there's things, you know. You can be like, yeah, I mean, Buddy could like fucking tape it, but like, is he gonna really present that evidence like while he's like crying in the background? Like,
Yeah,
I wouldn't be able to do it. Like, okay, sound off. Um,
yeah. Show it to the jury, and they're sitting there basically watching porn.
like, yeah, watching porn. This is where she sucks off this dude. I don't know Buddy's name. Like, da 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 da. Like, oh my god. How can you do that? I could present that shit to a jury. No fucking way. No way. I'd be like, so this is, and it just break down probably. But I mean, I honestly, I'm in a poly, like, I'm in a poly situation. So, like, something like that, like, would be, like, kind of discussed. And, like, I don't think I'd be ever really in that situation because, like, I wouldn't want to, do that. And be like, yo, like, this is what's up with me. I've always been that way with my partners. Like, this is what's up with me. Like, I'm a slut, or I'm like just not ready to do the thing that you want me to do because of this, this, and this. Like, I can at least pinpoint it, not like any other bitch can for most people, because they're just like, I don't know, I'm just a slut most of the time. Because like they honestly like they don't even know where the fuck their issues come from, especially anybody who's like younger than or in their 20s. They're like, I don't know why I'm this way. Like, they just are that way. So, you know, as long as you're like fucking clear with your person and you're like, yo, this is what's up, you don't even have to go through that shit.
Well, I mean,
Like, you don't.
I think your sexual proclivities are in your DNA. I think your brain is wired a certain way because they have found that, for instance, pedophiles have different brains than the general population.
Do
They're
they have smaller brains? I hope they have smaller brains.
maybe, I don't know, but there's something structurally different about them. Um, and I mean, it's the same way with most criminals, like serial killers,
Oh
also
man,
yeah, different brains than.
head trauma does a thing like it is like one of the leading things, like not necessarily like the be all end all, but it's a leading thing to like the like psycho shit, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
they
well, I mean,
got hit in the head at some point or like went through some crazy trauma that they don't know how to compute.
well, I mean, they've studied them extensively, and they find like a lot of them have had trouble holding down jobs, and they tend to have like interests outside of sex that are kind of weird, or some of
Yeah.
their behavior is kind of odd, and so it's mental illness. I mean, there are a lot of people who just say pedophilia is a mental illness. It's not a sexual orientation.
I would say it is like kind of a mental illness, but like what makes it that, you know, like where does the root, you know, where does it all begin? That's what I really want to know. Like that's what
Yeah,
I find fascinating because it's like, well, yo, like you're a grown ass adult. Why are you just like a Peter Pan type, you know, where you just can't grow up, you won't grow up and you identify with these things, but like,
yeah.
why would you taint it?
Yeah, it's not.
That's the part where I don't get it. It's like children are innocent. And that's what makes them like beautiful and awesome. Is like they're just like full of awe and naive and all of that. And like once you go down that road, like I personally think you're taking that away. Like it's they are not the same. It's like giving somebody a lobotomy almost. It's almost like Sucker Punch, that movie.
Well, one thing that's common is that a lot of pedophiles were sexually abused as children.
Yeah, they pass it down.
So yeah, it was normalized in their childhood. So they
Yeah.
just it's almost like brainwashing, I guess, where they just grow,
Yeah.
it's normal, and a lot of them have been described as being childlike in adulthood.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Like they didn't grow up. They're like Peter Pan types almost. But
Yeah.
like, yeah. No, I get that. Like, I mean, I'm not the like I'm not someone who wants to try to get pedophilia, but at the same time where my psychology, like my need for psychology knowledge comes into play. I've kind of inadvertently tried to, because I'm like, well, why would you do that? Like, because it's like you like I mean, I don't want to get in the rain at all. Like I don't, because like that's not a place where I want to be, but it's like what attracts you to that? And it's like, well, what are like when you compare adults to children, like what do we have that's like not in common? It's just like the naivety, the like,
Yeah.
all of that, like the like lack of development in a lot of areas and things like that. And I mean, it's not necessarily something that like I can't even get it. Like to be honest, I tried to kind of like, you know, not necessarily put my head in their head, but like what is appealing about
Yeah.
that?
And it's
You
from
know?
evolutionary perspective.
It's
It's
so hard for me to get.
and it's impractical. I mean, children can't have babies, so
No, but I mean, honestly, like what's the earliest a woman has her period? It can be anywhere from 10 to 12,
now
right?
nowadays it's more like 9 years old. A lot of
Yeah.
age are doing.
So it's like it's getting earlier and earlier, and that's weird.
Yeah,
But I mean, like look at Elvis Presley. Like his whole thing with fucking that chick, like
Priscilla.
he Priscilla, he didn't fuck her for a long time, but he groomed her. He was
Yeah,
like the R. Kelly of that time.
yeah. Wasn't she? She was like 14 or 15 when he met her. Something.
Yeah. And then there's fucking Jerry Lee Lewis. He fucking married his
Yeah,
cousin.
13-year-old cousin. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, like way back in the day, like in those times and before it was fine. Like they like got a slap on the wrist, to be
Yeah.
honest. Compared to now, if they did that now, holy fuck, they'd be canceled. They'd be like, they'd be blacklisted. They'd be all of these things.
Oh
But
yeah, for sure.
in the like what 1940s, it's all good because
And
like if there's grass on the field, play ball. Is that what's up? Like,
David Bowie did it. Jimmy Page was into 13 and 14-year-old girls. You
yeah,
lived till
back then, like you could get
seven.
along, like you could get away with so much shit. And they don't like, I mean, even in my time of like tattooing and stuff, like I knew of like, and this is like, I love this dude. He's my favorite guy ever. He had an apprentice and he took her on at like 16, and he was like close to like, he was close to his 40s at the time. And like they ended up getting it on. But she like, it was consensual, like totally consensual. She's like, yeah, you like this 16-year-old pussy, don't you? Like, I was like, oh, girl, like, I can't believe you even thought that. Like, but For real, like some of us we are more mature than what we fucking are, what our age says. And that's like by all rights, but like it still looks bad. Like
Yeah.
like there's no other, like you can't paint that picture any other way. It's like, oh, terrible.
All right, my last confession. The headline is I want to be circumcised, but my wife is anti-circ. So I want to be
Weird.
circumcised, but my wife has mentioned in the past that she is against it. I think that she thinks I am against it since I am not circumcised. She has circumcised her friends for having their children circumcised. Or sorry, she has criticized
She verbally circumcised them for.
she She has criticized her friends for having their children circumcised. I am envious of guys that were at birth. I am afraid to bring it up with her as she is a very strong female. We have a very bad sex life, and I'm not a great lover, but I think this would help. Our relationship is hurting, and we can't have the conversation about anything serious without it turning into a fight. I have even looked into trying to cause a medical reason that would necessitate it so that I could blame it on this. If I had this done, I think I would have more confidence and it might even help our marriage. I just keep waiting for the right opportunity to come up to talk to her about it. I have been for 2 years now. So, well, one thing medical that can happen is a yeast infection. Men can have them too. It tends to be caused by diabetes. So if he doesn't have that, I don't know what else would cause it. Um,
Yeah.
but maybe he could lie about it. But
Yeah.
that happened to me. I ended up having to get circumcised when I was 30 years old because I was
Oh,
diabetic and I had 2 yeast
it's
infections.
way more painful and like later in life though. Like you have to take way more care of it. That's the shitty end of the whole deal.
Oh yeah, yeah. Because the doctor who delivered me in Amherst, he didn't believe in it, so he wouldn't do it. And
Oh, what?
because there's always movements for and against it.
Oh, I know, yeah, I know all about that. Yeah.
But I don't know. If I had a son, I would get him circumcised, and if one doctor wouldn't do it, I'd find someone who did. So,
Yeah.
or
I'm
maybe go
not
do.
like I'm not entirely sure like what I would do in that situation. I'd have to like kind of call it as I see it. Like if it posed as like a medical problem, I probably would. Like because there are some out there that do, right? Like but other than that, it is looked at as sort of like an abuse thing now, right? Like there's a whole movement of men that they're like, I didn't consent to this and da 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 da. And it's like, cool, like I get that. Um, I mean, mind you, I have like a different set of information that other people have, I guess, and I don't trust it completely because I mean I've read some shit that like debunks all of that, right? Like
Yeah,
they say like it helps like cervical cancer in women and it like it prolongs this and that. Like there's a lot of like basically there's a ton of pros that go with that, right? And they don't talk about the cons. And I don't know really the cons because I didn't pay attention to them. Like I'm a chick, like honestly, I don't have a wiener. I'm not like I will be the first to say I did not pay attention to what the cons were. Cause like throughout my life I've pretty much I guess lucked out in that sense where all the guys I've dated were like circumcised for like the most part, not all, but like a lot of them, a majority of them. So like my very first boyfriend, his mom, like they're not even Jewish or anything. They just like fucking they did that because that's like the thing that they did. Like in past family things, you know, like
And it
on
was
her side and on his side and whatever.
in the Bible too, so I think that's
Yeah.
traditions.
Yeah, and I like she was kind of religious.
Yeah.
So that like that makes sense. But like the biggest argument was that like, well, like because I have this done, you have less chance of getting cervical cancer. And I was like, really? And like I lived with that for a good fucking chunk of my life. Like I took that with me well into my 20s. And like that's not necessarily the deal. Like apparently it doesn't really matter. Like if you're susceptible to cervical cancer, you're gonna get it. It doesn't matter if like the people you date are fucking uh cut or not, you know. But then later on I had a really good gay friend of mine. He's like he ended up getting rid of it. It was his choice, right? And he's like, I really wish I had done this like sooner because it sucks right now.
Yeah.
Like it is the worst thing
And
to
he's not
go through. Like
European.
what's that? No, no. He like I think he did it more or less for aesthetic reasons. Like he ended up doing it because of that. And I mean, I didn't really get into it with him because I'm like, like it's your choice. I don't give a shit. It's not like I'm gonna see your dick anytime soon. Like,
Well,
like,
porn has definitely influenced the
oh,
way
I know. It
thought,
totally has aesthetically.
and there are
Holy
no
fuck.
uncut guys in porn that I'm aware of. So, I mean,
Yeah.
video at least. I mean, in still images, yes, but not in the videos.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, like it's definitely harder to come by a guy that is you know, not cut in a video. I've like pretty much most of the videos I've seen, most of the guys have been, but like it's not like I don't really seek out that in particular when I'm looking up porn anyway. Like I don't
Well,
look up fucking cut guys. What's
John
that?
Holmes wasn't cut apparently.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he's like, isn't he's Canadian, right?
Now he's from the States.
Oh, there's a dude that was
Peter
fuck.
North is from Halifax.
Yeah, Peter North, that's the
Yeah,
one. Yeah. Yeah, yeah.
cowboy.
Yeah. Yeah, no, he's cool apparently. Like a lot of a lot of my guy friends like have watched a bunch of this shit. And I
Yeah,
guess he fucked Jenna Jameson too, so
yeah, he's done both gay and straight porn too. So yeah,
yeah,
maybe.
that's how you make your money, yo. You gotta kind of go both ways, like a barn door.
Yeah. So what's your last confession?
Oh shit. Okay, I got it. We've actually been talking on this one a lot longer than the other ones.
True. Yeah. We've
Which
done
is
one.
good. I love it. I love it. I love it. Um okay. So I hate you. You are such a liar. You told me you loved me and wanted to be with me instead of your wife. I'm stupid and fell for it hook, line, and sinker. I was so dumb. I had never disliked someone so much than you. You destroyed my heart and thought nothing of it.
Well, I'm glad she acknowledged that she was dumb because to get involved with a guy who's married, that's such a bad idea. I mean, it's one thing if you just want to have sex with him, but he's probably not going to leave her unless he gets caught cheating. So even that,
Yeah,
sometimes wives forgive their husbands for that. So he's not likely to leave her. I mean, in all the situations I've observed where a guy cheated on his wife, he and the wife never found out. They never left their wife. They never.
yeah. I've had similar situations. Like I've been the side piece, we'll say, and like on one occasion, the chick found out and they were done like in no time. Um, and I ended up kind of like dating him, but the trust isn't there, you know, like like how the fuck you ended up
Yeah.
like
Yeah. Why wouldn't he cheat on you? You know.
yeah, exactly. Like that's like honestly, logistically, you don't want that in your life. You don't because it's like you're just gonna have like the other shit plague on your mind where you're like, okay, so I know how we got together and like, you know, God knows what this person is doing, you know, like on the side, like fuck, maybe Buddy has like a pretty good job and they can't account for this partner. It's better off this way, trust me. Like,
Yeah.
go find somebody that you found like in a nice, innocent way and be with them. Like, fuck that. You
Yeah.
can't just can't expect a happy ending with some of this shit, you know?
But mind you, we don't know this, but if she happened to see him when he was on the rebound, like while he was taking a break from his relationship, that you can't be blamed for. And some that happened to me once, where the girl was on a break and she ended up getting
Yeah.
the guy. That's pretty shitty too. I mean, I don't know who to blame. I guess that's the other person, right? But for that one,
Like I mean, uh, it's a lot of people, really. Like,
and I guess people don't always know they're on a break. I suppose. I don't know.
yeah, I mean, that's like the thing. Like, the only time you like, and even this isn't a solid guarantee because I've known some fucking shady fucking polyamorous people in my time, but like,
Well,
you
it seems to
don't
me
know what's that?
It seems to me with polyamory, it's not a good idea to start out as a monogamous couple and then open up to it. It seems like it's better to start out as polyamorous. Am I right? I mean,
I think that's like I mean you're kind of on the right track. I would say like it's kind of individual because I've noticed that like with people and their different energies, it's like sometimes you just don't have the energy to deal with someone, and it's kind of funny. Like Krista and I were talking about this earlier today, and she's like someone she dated, she's just like, I can't I can't finish. Like I'm done. Like he fucking like I'm done. I can't do anymore. Like, can you come down and like and I was like, what? Like what do you mean come down and she's like legit, like come down and fuck him. Like I can't. I'm done. You know? I'm done for tonight. And I'm like, what? Oh, wait, what? And I mean, I've dealt with a lot of other polyamory situations, but like those are the ones that are fucking a godsend because you know for a fact nothing's gonna be a problem.
well, I
You
mean,
know?
I guess some people don't really think it through. They're like, "Wow, this is great. I can sleep with all those other people." But how are they going to feel when they see the person they were monogamous with get it on with someone else? You know,
Well,
like you
yeah, it depends. It really depends.
yeah, until you're in that situation, maybe you can't really know for sure.
Yeah, and I think I feel like it's so individual because like you know, maybe like you do have like you have a person that you can perfectly handle and everything's good, but like maybe you don't have like somebody that you can handle. You need somebody else to help handle this person, you know, like and that's totally fine. Or maybe like you've just spent so much time with this person and you want them to be happy because you're actually genuinely you give a shit about how they feel about stuff and you're just like, you know what? Like you go have some fun. You deserve it. You know, like there's like just like I don't know. It's like I feel like it's really individual and it just depends on what kind of person you are. Um a good friend of mine and myself like we there's this song, this rap song where it's like, uh, shit, it's like basically dick so good I'll share you with all my friends, right? And I was like,
Yeah.
hot damn, like, I guess so. Like that like kind of works, like it's different, but it's like I don't know, like it depends on how close your friends are.
Yeah, true. Well, I mean, there
If
was
you
a
really
show.
like them.
There was actually a show called Polyamory. Did you ever watch it?
No.
Well, the what it showed was that there was a lot of drama because they had to make all these rules and
Yeah.
people break the rules, and like this girl brought a new woman into it, but she said, "But I want to have some time alone with her first." And they said, "Well, that's antithetical to the very idea of polyamory. It's not about being
Well,
an exclusive
no.
person."
It's
Yeah.
it's kind of not like if you're like honestly like the way I see it, if you're in a relationship with several other people, it's like, okay, well, what night is this? Is this Diana's night or Barbara's night or Susan's night? Like, fuck, what fucking night is it? If it's their night, I can do whatever the fuck I want, so long as I'm like adhering to being safe and whatever. Like, Buddy should, like, if he's got his dick in seven people, I should be able to have my fucking vagina on seven people,
Yeah. Yeah.
you
Well,
know?
it's the arrangement.
Like, and this is like, that's the problem with religion, though. Like, some of these things, it's like, no, the man has the whole deal, and like, that's that. And I don't agree with that. Like, if you're going to be polyamorous, you should be able to do this in a way where everyone's fucking happy, no one gets left out, and y'all communicate. Like everyone knows how to have safe sex at this point in time. So it shouldn't be that much of a big deal.
Well, men evolved to be polyamorous. Like a man can carry on having like five girlfriends, and
Yeah.
and meanwhile, if a bunch of women will mostly be attracted to one guy. Like I think there was a statistic. It said something like women are only attracted to 15% of the male population, or maybe it was even less. But
Yeah.
see, all attracted to one guy or one very guys, and whereas men can spread their seed pretty widely.
Mhm.
Though they get pickier when it comes to someone they'd marry, but
Mhm.
women do too ultimately. But
Yeah, we all get picky.
yeah, well, they say women, if they're just interested in getting laid, they're pickier about looks then. But if they wanted to pursue a long-term relationship or get married,
Yeah, it's
it's
different. Like, you
important.
don't need looks, like you need longevity. Like you need honestly, like I'm not a superficial person by any means. Like I'm all about like whether or not I connect like on an intellectual level with people because I prefer that. I want to be able to have a conversation at any given fucking time rather than like have your dick in my vagina just for maintenance reasons, like I guess like in that respect I feel like maybe that's a more like old school thing because it's like, well, if I'm there for the boning, you can just pay me to be a prostitute, like, and I can play that part. But like, if you logistically, like, if you want to get to know me and like hang out with me, well, then like things are gonna get more complicated, but it's more or less in the respect way. It's like now you know me, now we're like friends, and now you can't be a dick. So,
Yeah,
instead of just putting your dick in and getting the fuck out of there.
yeah, yeah, it's true. Well, my dear, I think we've
We
blown our.
got like 2 hours this
That's right.
time.
That's right.
Oh man, this is actually pretty good. Like the organic one, like
Yeah.
we got a good chunk.
I know it's a weird observation to make, but there's for some reason it has to do with your voice. I feel like a great nickname for you would be Cookie.
Cookie. Oh my God, have you seen Best in Show?
I haven't. Oh, that's the one about the dogs. Yeah, I saw that.
Yes, Cookie Googleman.
I don't remember.
It's Catherine O'Hara's
Oh, that's right.
character. She's basically the slut of the whole thing. And like every time she goes and does something, they're like, Cookie Googleman. Do you remember that time like when you're like this and that? And like
Oh wow.
she's a fucking hoe. It's so good. It's so good. Rewatch that movie. And like I kind of love the fact that you said that.
Yeah, really. Oh.
Because Cookie Googleman, like, I feel
Oh,
like she's my spirit animal. Like,
I was just thinking about like I don't know, like some chick who might be from New York, or maybe she had like showbiz
Cookie, yeah,
aspirations, and she'd
she's
have
like part Jewish, maybe. Like,
yeah, yeah, and
why don't you settle down and marry a nice girl? Like,
yeah.
I love like okay, so when I first did Ancestry, I came up as like 2% Jewish and I was like the most happiest girl ever. I was like, oh my God, like 2% Jew. I was like, yes. I don't know why. Like I just like I fucking loved every second of it though. And then they updated everything and I was no longer 2% Jew and I was really sad.
Strange. Huh?
I know. It was like I think it turned into like Mediterranean or something. Anyway, either way, they took the Jew away, and I was really, really sad about it.
Well, when they moved to what became Europe, I guess maybe a few of them might have blended into the population, married Gentiles, and perhaps some Jewish blood got mixed around.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. There's probably like I mean, it showed up in me and not either of my parents.
Oh yeah. So maybe it isn't there. Yeah.
It was kind of weird. Like I was like, I got Jew in me, you guys don't. It's like I need to start making some films right now. Like fuck this shit. I'm in the wrong business.
Well, I gotta go now.
All
And
right.
it's great talking to you.
Yeah, man, this was a good show.
It was,
This
yes.
is like a very off the cuff, which I love.
2 hours, yes.
Yeah, man, we fucking like that was like 2 hours and we didn't even know. Well, I kind of did, but I was like, whoa, like we're only a few questions in and we're like an hour and a half. Jesus.
Yeah.
Anyway, it was a good shit. It's good shit.
Yes, it was. Well, have yourself a great night.
Yeah, you too.
Yeah, take
All
care.
right.
Later.
Okay, bye.
Bye.